A couple of years ago, when I was going through a really very difficult time and it seemed like nothing was going right for me, I remember hearing the words, all that a man achieves and all that he fails to achieve is a direct result of his own thinking. And I remember at the time being almost disappointed hearing that, because I didn't actually want to ever think that what was going on around me and happening to me was actually a result of my own thinking. I was absolutely convinced that circumstances had changed, or business had changed, or the economy had changed, or it was like kind of like a time of your life where things just aren't working out because they go like this. Everyone says life has ups and downs, one of those down times. But when I really stopped to think about it and to dig deep, those words come out of James Allen's book, A Man Thinketh, which is this book here. And I just want to read something to you, because when I actually picked up this book the first time in my life and honestly and truly studied it, and as you can see, it's a very skinny book, it doesn't take very long to read, but you can sit and study just one line for a couple of minutes. You can study a paragraph seriously for an hour. It's so deep. It says this. I'll just repeat what I said earlier. All that a man achieves and all, he doesn't say some of it, all that he fails to achieve is the direct result of his own thoughts. In a justly ordered universe where loss of equipoise would mean total destruction. Well, loss of equipoise, that's loss of balance, loss of being centered. When you're all over the place, when you're out of balance, total destruction, that's like really serious words there. But it says this: individual responsibility must be absolute. And that was the problem for me. I didn't really want to take 100% responsibility for the tough time that I was going through. I was convinced that it was circumstances around me that just really weren't good at that time. But the more I spent time in this book, really and truly reflecting and understanding this universal truth, and I'll read it to you. It says, a man's weakness and strength, purity and impurity are his own and not another man's. They are brought on by himself and not by another, and they can only be altered by himself, never by another. His condition is also his own, not another man's. My condition is also my own. So in other words, the situation I was in, every minute detail of it was my own. Yes, his suffering and his happiness are evolved from within. As he thinks, so is he. As he continues to think, so he remains. I'm just mentioning that because it was through reading this book of James Allen, actually studying it, that little by little, I started to take more and more responsibility for everything in my life, and more importantly, become more and more aware of every single thought I was thinking. And I have to tell you, we recently did a mastermind on this book, and in that time, being so immersed in it and reading it every single day, I found it was one of the best times of my entire life. I was applying more of what I learned here in my life, and it seemed that everything was working out for me. Everything, from every angle of my life, every situation of my life, every category of my life, it seemed to be the best. And I'm really quite passionate about sharing this with others. And I have to say, As a Man Thinketh is probably the book that is the foundation of, I'd say 90% of all personal development books out there is based on this tiny little book of wisdom by James Allen. So I'll be running a mastermind on this. If this is something that you'd like to dig into, one thing I can absolutely promise and guarantee, it will change you. It will change the way you think. And when it says that all happiness and suffering honestly comes from within, like sometimes we think, as soon as this is over, it will be better. As soon as I get that, it will come right. I'll just do a bit more of this. That's almost like a future state of illusion. Whereas when applying the nuggets of truth in this book and raise your awareness so high as to what each of us are doing, literally, second for second with our thoughts, and we start to get such an awareness that we can, as the words of the book say, watch, alter, and control our thinking, your life transforms, and it transforms really, really quickly. The day you start applying it, that day is a better day. A day or two or three of applying it, it gets much better. Do it for a week or two, and you think that you're riding a wave. So in this mastermind, the other thing is you don't need to buy the book. It's contained in this lovely study guide that I'll be providing, and everything is in here, including bonus content that's not from As A Man Thinketh, just to really enrich the process for you, add more content, more knowledge, and more viewpoints. So if you want more information on joining this 6-week mastermind, the details are below. I'd love to have you in there. I mean it when I say that this book changed my life and helped me take 100% responsibility for myself, my life, my happiness, my thinking. And when you spend time through a process like a mastermind, it kind of sticks. It's not just I read it once, I learn this, and I'm back to my old habits. So it's actually changing your habitual way of thinking, what I call a system. So the details are below. If you're interested, please contact me. Have a wonderful day, and God bless.